Count. Stay with CNN for continuous live coverage beginning Tuesday at 4:30 Eastern.
What would you think if we told you Buddy Dyer has spent $42,000 of his campaign war chest with printers in another state?
Let's send him out of state.
I wouldn't think that would be a good idea.
He's made a mistake. He should have invested that money here in the state of Florida.
I wouldn't think much of him.
I sure wouldn't vote for him.
We agree. Vote Steve Domino for Florida Senate District 14. To learn more, watch Steve Domino Candidate Forum Monday evening at 5:30 on Cable Channel 16 and speak on the issues in our telephone town hall by calling 244-8585.
In the last 10 years, Bud Bronson has voted for 30 tax increases, which cost us $5 billion in new taxes. Taxes that hurt you and me. Taxes on gasoline. Taxes on telephone calls. Taxes on health insurance. Taxes on cable television. Ask yourself, can you afford 2 more years of Bud Bronson?
Enough is enough. I'm Frank Adkison. Bud Bronson's a nice guy, but we can't afford 2 more years of tax hikes. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote no to higher taxes and yes to Frank Adkison.
Before you vote, remember the record. Every year for the past 12 years, the Republicans tried to cut Medicare, and in 9 of those years, they've done it. And this year, they've proposed a plan that could lower benefits for nearly 30 million older Americans and virtually eliminate compensation for over 1 million disabled veterans. Medicare cuts, health care crisis, the worst economic record since the Great Depression. Senior citizens know better than anyone. It's time for a change, and that's what the New Democrats are fighting for: Social Security and quality, affordable health care.
Today, for the first time in half a century, America is not at war. And America's wartime economy is changing to a peacetime economy. But that change has brought fear and uncertainty. The fear of losing a job, of losing a home. The uncertainty of tougher economic competition from around the world. But with change comes opportunity. And my agenda for American renewal can be the bridge to the future. It provides a choice of quality schools so our children have the knowledge to compete. It provides job training so workers have the new skills to compete. It provides health care for all and controls spiraling costs so our people can afford to compete. And my agenda strengthens small businesses that create 2 of every 3 jobs so we have the new jobs to compete. Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era. We change the world around us. Together, we must do the same at home.
These are tough times for middle-class families. After 12 years of Republican neglect and trickle-down economics, we're having a tough time making ends meet. Working harder for less money, spending less time with our children, paying more for health care and education. The Republicans in Washington cut taxes for the rich, raised taxes on the middle class, tried to cut college aid for middle-class kids, and as health care costs tripled, they did nothing. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. The New Democrats fighting for a better future for hard-working families.
Since I graduated, I've done telemarketing. I was a bicycle messenger. I hope in the future to get a job in my field and from there start my own life. But there are no jobs.
And there's yogurt here.
I feel trapped having to live at home. The Republicans really do not know what the average American is going through. The Democratic plan is the plan that makes the most sense. I really believe that the Democrats would bring a lot of hope and enthusiasm to this country.
For the last 2 years, Jim Backus has been lying about Bill Tolley. Now he's scaring our senior citizens about Bill Tolley's position on Medicare. The truth is, Bill Tolley could never break his sacred promise to help those in need. You see, his son is disabled and is treated in part through Medicaid payments. Jim Backus has been lying about Bill Tolley for a long time now. It's time we got rid of lying politicians.
We need a change.
Washington insider John Micah opposes national health care. He opposes the Freedom of Choice Act. He's taken thousands from insurance industry PACs and special interests. Newcomer Dan Webster supports the Freedom of Choice Act. Webster supports a balanced federal budget and will fight for national health care. In its endorsement of Webster, the Daytona Beach News Journal said, quote, Micah is the epitome of a Washington insider. Webster is the better choice by far, end quote. The choice is clear. Dan Webster for Congress.
Bob Allen lied on his state job application, lied on his City of Titusville job application. He lied about college degrees, lied about graduate degrees. He can't stop lying about his past. Is it any wonder he's lost his endorsements and even his fellow Republicans are abandoning him?
I'm Patricia Grogan. My home is here, my family is here, and I was raised in this community to believe that your word is your bond. I'll take that tradition to the Florida Senate.
Russ Perot on Politics as Usual.
Our great nation is sitting right on top of a ticking bomb. We have a national debt of $4 trillion. 70% of this debt is due and payable in the next 5 years. This is a bomb that's set to go off and devastate our economy, destroy thousands and thousands of jobs. The two other candidates have told you to just ignore the ticking. They've given you plans that will only delay dealing with the issue. But I've spelled out a solution that will fix this problem starting now. In a few days, you must decide if we should pay our bills and create jobs or just hope this mess will go away as we go over $1 billion deeper into debt every working day. This is a critical time. I know you don't want to waste your vote this year. The fact is, you are wasting your vote this year if you elect a candidate who continues politics as usual. I will not do that. I will deal head on with these problems. I will fix these problems. Cast your vote for your children.
Ross Perot for president.
When you say yes to integrity and fairness, you say yes to Rosemary Barquette, Chief Justice of the Florida Supreme Court. Governor Bob Graham made this appointment in 1985. Her fellow justices elected her to lead them.
The beauty of our legal system is that judges are free to apply the law equally without the influence of special interests.
The law enforcement community says yes to Rosemary Barquette. Strength, integrity, and fairness. Rosemary Barquette.
Relationships through better service.
How much harm could Jim Backus do in one term in Congress? Plenty. With unemployment too high here, Jim Backus let NASA jobs go to Mississippi. With people suffering, Jim Backus votes 5 times in 5 months to raise our taxes. Within a short time after he went to Washington, Jim Backus blamed his wife for his bounced checks. It's no wonder Jim Backus opposes term limits. Jim Backus is not what we thought he was. He's a politician. We need a change.
We've said no to his extremism twice before, but he's back. Bill Tolley. The Orlando Sentinel warns his broken record far-right politics already turned noses 2 years ago. Enough of Bill Tolley. We've got Jim Backus. Florida Today says, while Tolley represents the past, Backus offers the vision and leadership needed to build a better future. The choice is clear. Tolley, a change back to the past, or Jim Backus, a change to the future.
Corrine Brown owes us $300,000. She got federal funds for a job program called One Stop. She hired a male friend to run it, put her mother on the board, made her campaign treasurer the chairman. She never created a single job. The feds found 3/4 of the money wasted, $300,000, and made local taxpayers pay it back to Washington. Corrine Brown for Congress after what she's done for us? No. Don Widener for Congress.
A few years ago, my son was accused of molesting a teenager. Even though there was no sexual contact, he went to jail. In our heartbreak, we told Senator Langley we wanted to help our son. He wrote a letter on our behalf. Now his opponent, Karen Johnson, is dragging Senator Langley through the mud for trying to help us.
Folks, my son paid for his mistake. Please don't make him mistake. Vote for Senator Langley. He'll stand up for you too.
I'm Greg Kimball, former Democratic candidate for state attorney. I am now supporting Republican Steve Alexander over Ted Doran because Doran has completely misrepresented his qualifications. He claims to have been a prosecutor when in fact all he did was serve an internship while a law student. Doran has never been a prosecutor. He has never prosecuted a single criminal case ever. Vote for Steve Alexander. He is qualified and he's honest.
Question is, can we win? Absolutely we can win because it's your country. Question is who do you want in the White House? It's that simple. Now you got to stop letting these people tell you who to vote for. You got to stop letting these folks in the press tell you you're throwing your vote away. You got to start using your own head. Then the question is, can we govern? I love that one. The we is you and me. You bet your hat we can govern because we will be in there together. The President mentioned that you need the right person in a crisis. Well, folks, we got one, and that crisis is a financial crisis. Pretty simply, who's the best qualified person up here on the stage to create jobs? Make your decision and vote on November the 3rd. To American people, I'm doing this because I love you. That's it.
Don't waste your vote on politics as usual. Vote for Ross Perot.
Who will make the difference between losing and winning the war on crime?
Kevin Barry.
Kevin Barry.
Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry.
Kevin Barry.
Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry. I'm Kevin Barry. As your sheriff, I'll work hard to make our streets, homes, and schools safer. Together, we can fight the war on crime and win.
Our problem in Central Florida is not enough jobs. We've got an 8% unemployment rate and a bunch of politicians who offer excuses and raise taxes. What we need is leadership.
I work to build this retail center. I help create these jobs. We need a congressman who'll work to produce jobs for our economy, not a politician who'll raise taxes or drive business away. I'm John Micah. Send me to Congress. I'll get Congress working again.
John Micah, a taxpayer, not a tax raiser.
This year, Orange County voters will elect a new property appraiser who really cares about your homestead.
Your concerns are my concerns.
That's why Richard Crotty led the fight to place the Save Our Homes initiative on the ballot. This would limit the increase in the taxable value of your homestead to no more than 3% annually.
I hope I can count on your vote. Together we can protect our homesteads.
Elect Richard Crotty, a new property appraiser.